YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Rome 2. We're going to jump into some online action. This is just a quick battle. The last one was as well, so somebody asked why I wasn't using Blade Balance mod. Are you done with it? No, I'm not done with Blade's Balance mod, but I played a lot on there, and so I was just playing some quick battles here. And this is going to be Pontus versus Tylis. I brought a very weird Pontus army, and my opponent has brought a somewhat predictable Tylis army, because, you know, Tylis is fairly predictable. The only thing he's done differently is he's brought one noble horse, which against Pontus, that's probably not a bad plan, because Pontus has access to both Pontic Royal Cav and Cappadocian Cavalry. I've got 3 Levy Pikes just to kind of help me avoid being charged the crap out of in the center. They're backed up by 2 Mercenary Naked Swords, 4 Pontic Swords, and I believe 3 Celtic Warriors. And then I've got, for Cavalry, a Scythe Chariot hidden in the woods, which is going to be a crucial unit if I want to succeed, 4 Mercenary Scythian Horse Archers, and 2 Cappadocian Cav, 1 on each flank. So I have Shot Cavalry, Heavy Melee Cav, Horse Archers. I'm intending to try and pick apart the Tylis army because a straight infantry engagement will be suicide. The Tylis player has a Noble Horse, like I said, which is an interesting pick, 3 Raiding Horsemen in total. There's also 3 Celtic Slingers, which will make things a little trickier for my Horse Archers. He's got a Spear Warrior and a Levy Freeman, I believe, on each flank. 2 Celtic Warriors leading a core of Tribal Warriors, which I believe there's 5 of them, and 1 Oathsworn. Not bringing a lot of Oathsworn against Pontus is probably smart. You can just spend your money elsewhere, because Tribal Warriors will beat down anything else that Pontus has to offer. If Pontus is going to succeed, they're going to have to do so by being clever and utilizing their units that can get a lot of kills, like either Horse Archers, Shot Cavalry, like my General here, or these Scythe Chariots. Those are going to be your only options, and it can be tricky because Levy Freemen and their Javelins are very good at killing Chariots. They're very good at killing any cavalry, for that matter. And they're also good at warding off Horse Archers, which that's why that even though Pontus has some tools which can be used to success against the Barbarians, it is still difficult as a rule of thumb. Here comes my Scythian Horse Archer, is going to do some skirmishing. I really want to do some hit point damage to the Noble Horse, and I'm accomplishing that so far. If I do enough damage to the Noble Horse, a Cappadocian Cavalry might have a chance to finish it off. Otherwise, head-on, it will destroy one of my Cappadocian Cavalry, and I do not want this, especially if it's supported by these Raiding Horsemen, which I would love to get rid of as well. Pontic player is using some Slingers. This is good too, because I don't have any Skirmishers in the center, and getting his Slingers to have to focus on my Horse Archers is never a bad thing. And I'm kind of just easing a lot of my units up to the front of the woods over here so that I can pounce. My opponent no doubt knows that I have some units hidden there, and I am assuming that he has units hidden over here as well. Everybody tends to do that on this map, show a little bit openly and hide the rest. So it's a bit of a stalemate at the beginning because I can't just charge him this early. I have to have a good position for my chariots to strike some. So ideally, I want him to push up. My guys will then fall back, and then this will allow my chariot to roll down his flank like this from the woods and come out quickly so that hopefully his reaction time is lessened. So I bring my Scythians over here to do some scouting. I see some spears and some other raiding horsemen, so I definitely know that he has units hidden there, and he's going to pull a raiding horseman over here to help counter me. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I need to use my units well here to succeed. I can't just let the Celtic Slingers shoot my pikes, so I fall back, which this is good, because again, my opponent knows why I'm falling back. I don't want to just get shot. And it's allowing, again, the Scythe Chariot's going to have an easier shot to his flank through these woods, which keeps it relatively protected and unseen for the moment. So drawing the Tylis player forward like this is very good for me, and I'm just going to keep pulling him back, and he's now realizing he's getting too spread too. I'm not going to retreat across the whole map, because I don't want my opponent to get mad and then just back up. I need this to bait him into a position that I want, but at the same time not tick him off so much that he just turns around and is like, well, fine, you're going to just retreat, I'm going to go back too. So, you know, I've got to make it seem appealing enough to come forward like that I might actually not just run away forever. But he gets scared with his Slingers and pulls them back. So again, we get in a bit of a stalemate for a minute, and, you know, I want to keep my opponent's interests. I go ahead and start moving some Horse Archers up. I start breaking some Celtic Warriors to each flank to take care of his Spearmen, because that will be an easy win for a Celtic Warrior where they can get a lot of kills, and I'm leaving the Pontic Swords, Naked Swords, and Pikes in the center. It is a relatively narrow formation. He could get around me relatively easy, but if he blobs up, then my guys ought to be able to hold long enough for the chariots to do their damage. So this is the key to my plan here. And at this point, he's pushing forward, and I decide I'm going to go ahead and push forward. So you're going to see me start giving move orders on my pike, just move orders, because I want them to just run face first into the enemy, soak up pillow volleys and everything else. And if he tries to charge, fine, he charges pikes. I don't really care because the pikes are garbage. So they're going to be my throwaway units up front. He starts moving raiding horsemen around. That's fine. I've got Scythian horse to mess with them. And then this Cappadocian Cav, I'm hoping to get around his spears. You can see me now giving the Celtic warriors attack orders. And my swords are going to get attack orders on his spears over here. And I have my guys on skirmish, and I totally forgot these guys get chased against the red line and killed because the skirmishing mechanic is broken, even though it worked in a 2004 release of Rome Total War. I have no idea why it's broken here. Good luck catching skirmishers on Rome Total War, because you wouldn't. Again, this is going to allow my naked warriors to get a solid frenzied charge without being javelined and everything else. They're not going to do great against the units they're up against, but hey, they'll do some damage, and that's all I need. And the pikes are just going to be here to be annoying at this point. So you can see them coming in, taking most of the volleys, absorbing the charge of these Celtic warriors, and then again, just bringing on my Pontic swords, every other unit to bear. My Cappadocians are already behind the enemy, and my chariots are now making their way out of the woods. His spearmen are going to get tied down by swords so that they can't hit my chariots. And same thing over here, swords are going to tie down his spearmen so that my cavalry won't be engaged by his spearmen. But here, he does a good job pulling away, and he's going to come with his noble horse into here. And the raider caught my cavalry out here too because I'm just not paying attention. It's not the key to the battlefield for me. These guys were prepared to throw javelins. I did not think they were, and I lose a chariot immediately. That's just how easy chariots die to javelins. They die extremely easy. So I am worried that my whole plan here is going to fall apart because of one javelin volley. This is why it's so easy for barbarians to overcome this stuff and so hard for factions like Pontus to do this. So I have to just stay on the run. He gets another javelin volley, but fortunately no kills. And my chariots are now just ripping through his mainline units. The rear charge from my Cappadocian cavalry starts crushing the morale of some of his units. He's now firing slingers at my chariots, gets another one killed, but now I'm going to chase off his slingers as well. And then I'm going to pull my Pontic Royal Cav through here for rear charges. So my chariots are already down to 6 units out of 9, but they have 100 kills, and now they're going to start really wrecking these slingers, which will get a lot of them off the field. The enemy Oathsworn general is in rough shape. I've got mercenary Celtics coming in the back to support my Pontic swordsmen, who are dying in droves to tribal warriors. But now with the support of this Pontic cavalry and the chariots doing all this wrecking, I'm in a very good position. The enemy general can get killed. Support for my Pontic swords arrives in the form of a rear charge from the Celtic warriors, and here comes the Pontic Royal Cavalry with battle rhythm. Try and get as many kills as I can. I'm just going to plow straight into the back of the enemy Oathsworn and leave those guys there until the Oathsworn's dead. You can see a few of my pikes surviving and being handy here. They didn't do much, but they helped out. The enemy Oathsworn is in headhunt, but it's going to die there. So with the enemy general dead, I have a real chance of winning this game, and my scythe chariots survived, and now there's not many units left for my opponent that can take care of them. He's going to throw raiding horsemen in here, which is way too little, way too late. They may route this Pontic sword with the rear charge, which would be nice. It'd be more than they would normally get, but they're going to get thrown away essentially here. And my general helped crush the center here with the Oathsworn, so only lost 2 men and got 55 kills. So the Tylis center gets crushed, and all they have left is a couple of tribal warriors. Well, actually, there was another Oathsworn here. I got 178 kills, but at this point it's been mostly neutralized due to repeated chariot charges. I now have 283 kills on the chariots. And with shock cavalry and some infantry left to serve as an anvil, at this point, unless I make some big mistakes, which I do, I'm getting my Scythian horse archers killed out here, the Tylis player is doomed. He just does not have the manpower to deal with what I have. Now, again, a simple javelin volley, though, from even a depleted unit can get rid of what's left of these chariots. But if I keep my men moving, we're good, so that Oathsworn is going to get charged and ripped apart by chariots. You can see them actually trying to throw javelins there. 294 kills. The Oathsworn did survive that. I've got a pike unit trying to tie them down, and I'm going to start transferring infantry over here. Watch this raiding horseman trying to be brave, thinking that they can fight heavy shock cavalry. Not so much. So yeah, light cavalry, missile cavalry versus heavy shock. Instant death. So that's going to be 100 kills now, basically, for my Pontic Royal Cav. This Levy Freeman's going to try and come after my general. I don't know if it has any javelins left, though, so I'm trying to keep my distance. And then this tribal warrior is going to come in here and help finish off my Pontic swords, who actually did pretty good here with 100 kills. And then I've got this Celtic warrior that was out on the flank getting rid of some more raiding horsemen. So again, it's looking very positive for me at this point. The Oathsworn is going to be knocked out by a charge of these Pontic swords. It's going to be off the field. And again, just holding the chariots back here just in case I need a late game tool. I don't think that these guys have javelins, so I go ahead and charge my Pontic Royal Cav in. They did not. Wasn't a great charge because the Levy Freemen are in a weird position, but I'm still going to kill a lot of them because they're just Levy Freemen. Then I can just go ahead and retreat. It's not like Age of Charlemagne where I'll take a jillion losses. My chariots see another opening here and charge into the back of all that infantry, and I'm now going to pass 300 kills, and then I'm just going to keep the chariots moving. I don't want to get them killed too early here and then end up having to face all this really good infantry. This is a tribal warrior with 2 chevrons here, so I have to be careful. And now I'm just going to lead the Levy Freemen into a sword unit so that they'll quit chasing my general. I have second wind on my general, so he's not going to get tired. And this is looking very good. I even have this archer I can pull back in here that I recognize eventually. So at this point, the writing's pretty much on the wall. Tylis is in a nightmare scenario where Pontus gets to late game with shock cavalry and chariots, which is a death sentence for the Barbarians if they don't have any way to counter it. And at this point, they don't have a way to counter it. I do believe one of their units might have some javelins left, but I don't remember. That got my Pontic swords in without being charged by the tribal warriors, which means they'll gain a little bit more favorable engagement. They will still lose in general, but I've got pikes again here just to be annoying and support. That's about all they can do, is be annoying. The chariots are going to make a run in here, and I get a nice rear charge into the tribal warriors. We're going to kill more of them. My chariots are down to only 2 units here. 350 kills though. So it's been a very effective unit for me. Right at first they weren't getting a lot of kills, but then they started racking it up. And this Pontic Royal Cavalry here is making its presence felt big time in the late game. A very heavy shock cavalry like this is going to be just brutal to sword units who don't have support. You can see that I can charge, just turn around and charge again. And then I decide, yeah, I'm just going to let my horse archers pick these guys to bits, and I'm going to go over here for this other one. My chariot's still just running back and forth through the enemy infantry, magically not causing any damage to my own men, even though I run them over. Magic, people, it's magic. Here comes a Pontic Royal Cav charge. Gotta love this. Feels pretty good to beat Tylis with Pontus. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna happen every time, and that was pretty sloppy. I was probably pretty lucky to pull it off. The Mercenary Naked Swords didn't end up doing much, but I mean they caused some damage on the charge and got in and supported the pikes a little. This Celtic warrior here killed a lot of units. That was awesome. The chariot did the bulk of the work, and then my general was extremely cost effective with 153 kills for almost no losses. The Pontic swords, 3 of them did alright. This one got cracked. I don't expect much from these guys. And the pikes, honestly, I didn't expect any kills from them, so to get anything was kind of nice. Didn't do that much with my archers or my cavalry. But then if you look at the enemy kills, his Oathsworn were basically just shut down. This tribal warrior was the only one that got any kills, and it didn't have any support in late game, so it didn't end up mattering. His slingers were also neutralized without much effect. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage, signing off for now. I'll be back with more soon.